This episode of The Sportsman's Empire is brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Since 1952, Interstate Batteries has been evoking compassion and a trustworthy spirit into the surrounding communities. Interstate Batteries is a mission-driven company fueled by purpose and guided by their values. If you need help locating a specific battery, stop into your local Interstate Batteries retail store and speak with a battery specialist. They even offer cell phone repairs. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
All right, everybody. This is the Man Therapy Podcast. My name is Dan. His name is Kyle. Kyle, you ever seen one of those passes where, like a basketball pass, where the guy just touches it for a second? Like he gets the pass from somebody and he just goes, wah, bam.
Oh, yeah, just a quick touch pass. Yeah.
A touch pass. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting it from, let's have who's passing it to me? Like, who's passing it to me? Like, hypothetically, if
Jason Williams.
Who?
Jason Williams.
Okay, Jason Williams. Oh, perfect. Jason Williams just did the behind the back, off the elbow pass to me, and I'm touch passing it to you now.
Yep.
What's up?
Man, what's been on my mind this morning is gratitude that I have for my community. I'm in a HOA and we're all on the same well. Mm-hmm. And we have had so many problems with the well over the years. I've lived here for more than 10 years. It's not like there's always a problem, but there are frequently problems. And often the problems are big. When there's a problem with the well, it's something bad.
Yep.
And so there's a problem with the well right now. We've been on a boil restriction for like 4 or 5 days, like all week. We haven't been able to drink our water. For a couple days at the beginning, we couldn't even shower. It's been a big, huge pain in the ass, right?
Right.
But what's cool about my community is that there's a family that lives right next door to the well, and I had posted on Facebook at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, like, hey, has anybody else noticed our water pressure's kind of low? And this dude just runs right over to the well and just starts checking on things. He's just he doesn't work for he doesn't work for the HOA. He doesn't work for the well company. He doesn't work for anybody. He's just a nice guy in the neighborhood. Runs over, is like, oh yeah, the tanks are getting low pressure, Then he reaches out to the HOA president, who then just like kicks into gear because she's got all the contact information for the well maintenance people and all the things. And like, then there's a crew out there at like midnight working on the well.
Yeah.
And what's neat to me is that like all these people are just volunteers. They're just nice people that just give a shit. A lot of HOAs get shit, and I think rightfully so. I think a lot of HOAs suck. I think generally speaking, there's a lot of shitty things about HOAs, and it usually actually comes from power hungry people running it and not necessarily the spirit of what it is. But I really appreciate ours because our poor HOA president, the lady that runs it, dude, she does so much work and she's doing work on behalf of all of us. I don't have to do a single thing. She's like got in touch with the well people to come out and fix it at midnight. And she's been in touch with the electrician that needed to fix something. And she organized the testing of the well for like E. coli and all the things. And then she's constantly having to put up updates on Facebook, on our community Facebook page, and everybody's asking a million questions, and some people are like irritated, like, oh, this is dumb and and it's like she's just a volunteer.
Yeah.
She's actually awesome. She's doing great, and she's doing it all on our behalf, and none of us have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I was on the HOA board for a number of years, and I know that it's a thankless job. And I just really appreciate her, and I appreciate the guy that went out there and checked it like, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I think there was even another community member that stepped in and helped. And people have, over the years, just jumped in and helped. Like, there'll be somebody in the neighborhood knows something about mechanics. Somebody in the neighborhood knows something about electricity. Somebody in the neighborhood knows something about wells. And they just volunteer to jump in and be like, oh, I'll look at that. And then they do. And they're like, oh, here's the problem. We just need to get somebody in to take care of this. Yeah. And they're all volunteers. And I freaking love that. I think that's so cool. I have a ton of appreciation for them. I wouldn't know what to do if I was to like walk into the well house. I wouldn't know what I was looking at. So
yeah,
during the derecho, when we lost power, Some guy just went and got like an industrial generator from his work and just brought it back and hooked it up to our well, so our whole neighborhood had water again.
Yeah.
Just a volunteer. He
Yeah.
just thought that'd be nice, and so he did. Like, I just love that shit. I think it's
Yeah.
so freaking cool. I love our community. Not all HOAs are bad. So since we can't drink our water, there's one of my son's friends' moms got us like 6 cases of bottled water from Costco.
Oh, nice.
And brought it over. That was just completely unexpected. She didn't need to do that, but it's neat how people step up and show how much they care during times of hardship. And to be clear, this isn't like a major time of hardship, but
Yeah.
it is an inconvenience. And she was just thinking about us and did that. And I don't know, stuff like this can kind of bring out the beauty in society. And I was just really appreciating that this week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. That's awesome. Because maybe you get to meet someone you've never met before, or maybe you get to find out who someone really is. You know,
Right.
Maybe someone that in certain times you get to find out who people really are. And maybe the quiet neighbor who doesn't participate in the activities or just comes and goes and you don't see him. All of a sudden you get to meet him and it's a good person. And you're like, holy shit, you are a good guy, you know, like,
yeah.
we joke about this now, but it was a couple of years, I think, went by before the neighbors across the street from us.
Yeah.
I think a couple of years went by before we even communicated with them. I would wave, I do the neighbor wave, but that's it. My wife and, the gal who lives over there, they didn't talk too much. I don't even think they waved at each other. And now we get along very well. Their kids, our kids bounce back and forth in each other's house to the point where I don't think they knock anymore. That kind of community. So, yeah, dude, and it's awesome to know that in a time like that, other people have your back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. The world's not as nasty and uncaring as we necessarily think that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or there'll even be like a grumpy neighbor, like somebody you think is grumpy and cranky.
Exactly.
And then shit hits the fan, and then that guy's like waist deep in water, like doing shit for the community. And you're like, whoa, you're not a total dick?
Yeah.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's awesome, man. I'm glad, it sucks that you've had these water issues. I mean, water and you need to move to a desert, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I should, because it'd probably bring water there and I would still be a pain in my ass and everybody else would love it.
Flash floods. You just get flash floods everywhere. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
With water, but no, this is not that horrible of a thing. It's just an inconvenience, but it is just neat to see what it reveals about a community. Oh, I went and showered at my neighbor's house. My whole family went and showered at my neighbor's house. He's like, yeah, come on over. No problem. Cause she's next door, but she's on a different well. So she's not affected by all of this. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Well, I hope
things.
Yeah. I hope things get better for I guess, because we live, for those who don't know, Kyle and I live in a community in a town where all the houses are on wells. And so whether it's one well to a house or it is 5, like my house is on, with 4 other houses. So there's 4 other houses on our well. And, it's weird too. How they have it broken down is weird because our 3 neighbors are not on the same well, just one of them. And then we go down the street and then we go over. So I don't know how they do that, how they break it up or decided to break it up. But yeah. And we've only had a couple well issues throughout the 13 years that we've lived here. And it's been, it's been fairly easy, to be honest with you. And so I don't even want to talk about it, because if something goes wrong, then it's just like buku bucks that have to be split up, 5 ways, and nobody wants to pay for that.
Yeah, no shit. Yep. What's your split of that monthly or yearly?
It's more along the lines of It's zero.
Yeah.
We don't do it like that, I guess. When there is the person who has all the electrical, they are paying for it, and they don't I've tried to communicate to them. They do not really respond well. They just cover the charge, and it is what it is. However, when a big fee is necessary, like we had to have it come in and replaced one time, but not like a parts replaced, not the whole system. I think I had to pay like $350 for it, a one-time fee for $350. So that's about as much as I've got into it. And so we're pretty lucky.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Mine's good too. I think I only pay like $350 a year.
A year?
A year. $350 a year for water.
Yeah.
And we had to raise it up to that.
Yeah, that's crazy because I don't know, like maybe we're just not on top of it. And then that goes into an account, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because in our town, our water is free. We're not on a municipal anything. So it's just straight well water, and it goes into a system. And then, we have a system in our house that maybe cleans it or takes the smell out of it and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope all of a sudden, before we leave, it's like, here, you owe $27,000 to this one person. They take you to court and you're like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
If there's like a catastrophic well failure, the whole thing needs to be redone. It's more than $50,000.
Yeah.
I think our HOA has like, I don't know, 20 or 30 grand sitting in an account.
Yeah.
Just like ready. There's like between 30 and 35 houses on this one well.
Oh, so you're on a huge pump station.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have our own pump station.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We're just 5 of us on one well. So that's crazy. Okay. All right. Anything else around that topic you want to chat about?
No, I just appreciate everybody. It's cool.
Yeah. It's good to kind of have, it's good to have neighbors that have your back. And I live in that same community. I have I've helped people carry flooring into their house, and I've helped, people carry things, or, hey, just hold this while I nail it, or, hey, this isn't heavy. It's just awkward. Can you help me? And, there's a lot of that goes on. And it's awesome to live in a community. I have heard stories about, the big cities where they've lived in a house for 20 years and they've never met their neighbor. That just blows my mind. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that at all. So, okay.
Totally agree. I also have to say, like, someone has to be the one to say hi first.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Someone has to be that outgoing one. You don't have to be super outgoing, but you have to be, if you want to meet people, you have to be outgoing enough to say hi.
Right.
Or to wave, or to stop when you normally wouldn't have, and say hi, introduce yourself, and kick it off. Otherwise, like you said, you didn't talk to your neighbors for 2 years, and it would have been very easy to just keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I got a question for you. Professional, maybe personal. It's a 2-part question. And the question is, when Kyle gets triggered towards anger or resentment, or maybe you have a client that has recently been triggered to go down the path of anger or resentment, how do you instruct people to find a way back to a calm state of mind?
Yeah. I personally try to feel it for a little bit, and allow myself to honor it, so to speak. Like, if I'm angry, there's probably a reason why I'm angry. I don't gaslight myself and tell myself that it's bad to be angry, or that anger's unjustified or anything like that. I let myself feel angry. And then I just don't want to stay stuck in anger. So I think it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like self-indulgent to stay stuck in anger for a long time. Every emotion is important. We should feel all of them, and they're all important because they all tell us something. It's all data. If you feel angry about something, it means that someone crossed a boundary of yours, or someone's breaking a value of yours, or something important to you is going wrong. So you wouldn't want to not have anger. You just don't want to sit in it for a long time. So I allow myself to honor it, and then I basically think, how quickly can I get back to my own baseline? And I think, I try to go into next steps as quickly as reasonably possible after I've honored my anger. And then that helps me get out of my angry phase. I will say though, if I'm really, really, really angry, the only thing that helps me is physicality. Whether that's like I'll do body weight squats until I can't anymore, or I'll do push-ups until I can't anymore. Or I'll like punch my mattress or whatever. Not that I have to do this stuff like regularly, but every once in a great while I'll be super fucking mad. If I'm able to be out in nature, I might smash branches against trees or something like that. But like, I do like to get it out physically if I'm really angry, because one thing that sucks is to just sit when you have this anger just coursing through your body and you've got all this adrenaline and you're supposed to just sit there and feel it. That sucks. I like to have a place to channel it. I mentioned smashing branches into trees. I used to work with this lady years and years ago, and she was really successful in her field, and like a high up. You would never guess that this lady did this, but when she got mad, she would go in her backyard that was wooded, and she would just start smashing branches against trees. That's how she got her anger out. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I feel so much better after I do that. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Keep doing that. Because she was wondering, like, is that bad? Should I stop doing that? I was like, no, that's good. Do that as long as you're not like
hitting people.
Exactly. Basically, the only rules are as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, as long as you're not being self-destructive or harming anyone or anything, then the way that you get your anger out is probably fine.
Right.
So, I think you're justified to be mad. Try not to sit in it forever. Allow yourself to notice it and feel it. Do something to get it out physically if you need to. And then as quickly as is reasonable, start moving to next steps instead of just staying stuck in anger.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll just tell you this. I got triggered last night.
I was wondering. I was wondering what the story was behind
Dan doesn't bring shit up unless it happens, right?
Yeah, so let's hear it. Hypothetically, what if a guy
I know a guy, right? No, man, someone said something to me, or and it hit me, and I have a long fuse, and my long fuse got used up. All of it got used up right there.
Oh boy.
And I voiced my opinion. I talked. It all came out. I didn't yell. I was just like, if you don't like that, don't ask that, or don't come to me with it. Or, it's like, I felt like maybe a little bit of my, I don't want to say privacy, because if I said my privacy was violated, it makes it sound like I was watching porn on my phone or something like that, which wasn't the case. Okay. But what happened was I got angry, and I got angry really fast. And, because I think it's something that, other people don't have confidence in me. It made me feel like they did not have confidence in me, or they were embarrassed by my actions, or felt threatened because of my actions. I don't know. And I honestly didn't care what the other person's thought process was behind it. I just felt like I got wronged. And maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but and maybe it was a bad mood too. I jumped to anger. I don't know. I'm not here. Like, I don't want to break all of it down.
Right.
I'm more concerned of how I recovered from it. So, I know, and maybe some of the listeners know that I've been trying to like have this journey of faith and learn more about the Bible. And I've been doing Bible studies and things like that. And so what I did was I went to Google and I said, please give me a Bible verse that helps me with my anger and my resentment towards others. And it provided me once. And then I went to my Bible and I read it. And I started to calm. The more of those I read, the more calm I became. And at the end of that little reading process, discovery, and then reading, I said a prayer to myself about the people who I love in my life and about myself, like, keep me from anger and things like this. And I kind of calmed down, right?
Love that.
I went to bed. I'll be honest. I try not to go to bed angry, but I went to bed a little stewed, but I calmed down. I went to bed and I woke up this morning and I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. I think that passed. And now I'm back to long fuse Dan again.
Yeah. Okay. So, very good. How about, I don't know, what about residual in terms of your relationship with whoever it was that you got angry at? Or do you still feel anger towards them, or do you feel like you're just like repositioning them in your concentric circles of closeness, or is there any update that happened there?
I don't know. Like, it's just something that I'm gonna throw out the airplane window type of deal. I'm gonna forget about it. I'm gonna not bring it up. I'm just gonna let it go. And I'm going to try to take the high road, and I'm going to, this is weird. This is kind of leading me to this. And I think this is like a man thing. And you tell me, do you find yourself being the one who changes a lot while others do not? Whether that's kids or wife or relationships. Like I find myself not doing things, or I'm the one who's changing. I don't necessarily, maybe it is, maybe it's because I'm trying to avoid any other conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. That can happen. I've noticed that in certain relationships over my life. The thing that I've noticed in that realm that I don't like is that, you can tell me what you think about this. Whoever is the most stubborn wins.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
Just because you're stubborn doesn't mean you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. And then that pairs with the other insight that I've gathered over the years. And that is, whoever has the most insight has the biggest burden. So like, if you're the one that sees the problem, but other people don't, you're the one stuck with the knowledge of it. And if other people are like, don't see it or don't care or whatever, then they're not affected by it. Like they'll let the shitty dynamic happen. They'll let the bad habit keep happening. They'll let the unhelpful or negative behaviors keep happening because they don't have the insight as to why it's bad. So they don't share ownership with you. So then like you see how shitty it is, and you basically just have to, like in your words, eat a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
Then you try to bring it up to the person, and that's where you can get into the insight and stubbornness. Like, hey, here's this thing that I'm noticing. Like, this isn't good. Can we work together to fix this and like course correct? And if they're on the healthier side, they'll say, oh yeah, you're right. Shoot, I didn't notice that, or whatever. And they'll say, yeah, let's work together to course correct. Yeah. Or they'll dodge it and say, no, whatever. I don't care about that. Not dealing with that. Or I'm going to keep doing things as I'm doing them, and we're just going to keep taking on the damage that we're taking on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hit and miss sometimes. And, it's just one of these things where, and I don't know, maybe that's not healthy. because, and maybe over time, what happens is people with long fuses at some point reach an end to it. And then they have not, and I think that's a two-way street, right? It's like, if a guy like me doesn't come up with the gusto to go tell the other person how they truly feel, well, those people, whether they care or not, aren't going to change or try to change or give their opinions. And the longer, like, let's see, how do I put this? I'm going to imagine a marriage that has been 40 years. And then at 40 years, like, you started doing this 30 years ago and it pisses me off, blah, blah, blah. Right? Well, if that's the first time you ever told them about it, like, it's not that other person's fault either for acting the way that they've been acting. Right. So whose fault really is it? Right? It's like, you can't put the horse before the carriage, or behind the carriage before the horse, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you said it right. Cart before the horse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So who knows? But there's also a lot of times where I don't have the energy for bullshit anymore. And so I let a lot of shit slide off of me, and I don't, like, it's come to here's a example. I don't know. Tell me if you do this, Mike. And I love my daughter. I love her, but I'm going to use her as an example. And hopefully if she ever hears this one day, she understands that I love her, and she understands that, like, I'm using this example, as kind of maybe a teaching moment or something like that for myself. But, her phone has not been working, and I don't know if there's a setting that has been pushed, but she cannot text or call. So all of her communication has to be through an app like Snapchat or Instagram or, something else, right? It has to be a second app. Anyway, she asked me to put to add more time to her phone, because I have restrictions on how much she can use it. So on this 2-hour car ride, she would have enough time to be on it and mess around. I looked at it, and then I think I may have went to the bathroom or answered an email, and then came back to it. And by the time that I got back to it, there was already another comment saying, like, I know you saw this, because I could see that the app says if it was on red or not. And I was like, it's been 2 minutes. Have a little patience. And then that started a back and forth banter over whatever. And I did not want to give it to her at that point, because there was a lack of patience there for her. And I wanted to stomp my foot, and I wanted to be like, no. But guess what I did? I gave in, and I gave her the extra time. And she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. And I'm just like, whatever. And I just let it slide.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you can also pick your battles. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to get into it about every single thing. Sometimes it's okay to let things go. Also, sometimes people are just in touchy moods, and you just have to be willing to, like, let things go here and there. I do that with my son a ton. Like, a thing that I'm personally working on is not getting into it with my son when I know that he's overly tired or really hungry, because then he's like, his brain's just unhinged.
Yeah.
He will scorch the earth. And I'm also stubborn, and I'm very, like, right and wrong oriented, so it's like, don't talk like that, use good manners, treat people well. But, like, when he's really tired, then he's just like a little gremlin, and then I'll get into it with him. And while I'm doing it, it's almost like third person. I'm watching myself get into it with him, and I'm going, Kyle, stop. He can't help it. You're not going to win this. Like, once he's activated like that, his brain is, like, offline, and he is just, like, in his animal brain, and it's not going to go well. And so I'll try hard to listen to my wife. She does a good job of being like, Kyle, don't do that right now. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I shouldn't. But yeah, I think you have to be savvy enough to pick your battles.
Yeah.
which is different from letting your kids walk all over you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be the more mature one that's insightful enough to know when to dig in your heels and when to let it go. Because otherwise, if you make a big deal out of every little thing, then you're going to be making big deals out of things all the time, because there's friction points all the time with kids, because kids want what they want all the time. Kids have a lot of wants.
Yeah.
And kids know what they want, but they don't know what they need. They just want what they want. And so I think you do have to be a little savvy to know when to get into it with them and when to walk away.
Yeah. Speaking of knowing when to walk away from something, I've been coaching my kids for a very long time. Okay. And there is this thing that I am battling with. And I think it's more, I don't know if I'm finding out it's me, or maybe my communication skills with other people need to be better. But in today's society, where the parents of club sports, whether they say they're looking for fun, and they say they're looking for, like development, when it comes to the games and the tournaments, some of them are very quick to talk shit on another kid who starts to make mistakes, right? Or why is my kid not there? Or why do we have that kid in that position? And so forth and so on. Okay. I realized that 7 years ago when I started coaching youth sports. And so I'm of the understanding that there is a certain practice schedule or foundational elements of baseball, or you name the sport, that need to be done on repeat in order for all kids to be built up and become better baseball players. And I do not think that that's happening on certain levels. And I'm not talking about my kids. I'm talking about all youth athletics. Okay. Whether I'm a participant in it or not, I hear stories, I hear rumors, I hear gossip of all that stuff. And I'm getting to a point where if I voice my opinion on something to another adult or another person, and this is, it's happened in the past, that is met by, oh, this guy thinks he knows more. This guy thinks he should be the head coach. This guy, like, I'm not coming out and saying I want to be head coach or I want the practice to be run this way, but it's met with, like, I don't know, the other person becomes threatened by me and the way that I feel things should be operated, to the point where I don't even know if I want to coach kids sports anymore. And I just want to train my own kids to become better and not anybody else. On top of that, here's the cherry on top, is the way young children talk to their coaches these days, in my opinion, is 100% unacceptable. And if you do that, you should be on a bench for almost an entire game. If you hit another player, you should be on the bench for an entire another game. If you throw your bat or your helmet, you should be sitting out, additional innings. And I'm using baseball as a reference because we just got done with baseball season, or we're in the process of getting done with baseball season.
Yeah.
And there are other people in this world that don't agree with me. Like, and then what they do is the parents will come up and they'll be like, well, so-and-so got away with this and so-and-so got away with this. And the next thing you know, you're afraid to make hard decisions because you're afraid of what the parents are going to do. Right. And so I don't know, man. I want to know if maybe I'm being over, like, too controlling. Like, maybe it's me. And I'll admit that maybe it's me, because I do believe things should be ran a certain way, in all categories of life, whether it's like this morning, my wife loaded the dishwasher and I moved dishes around in there so I could get more dishes in, and I could make sure that the pans that were dirty were hitting the right angles and things like that. She's like, why are you doing that? Was mine not good enough? I'm like, no, it wasn't. I'm sorry, but it wasn't, and so, I want to know if I'm being too controlling or if this is valid a lot of the times. And I'm to the point where I don't even know if I want to coach sports anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair. I appreciate that you brought all of that up. I think a lot of people who get into coaching run into this exact thing. I think that competition can bring out the worst in people. I think competition plus someone's kid
Mm-hmm.
can really exacerbate the problem. So, everybody thinks their kid's great and everybody is always angling for the best opportunities for their kids. I think some groups are more toxic than others. And I don't even like to use the word toxic because it's such a buzzword, but it is pretty applicable. Unhealthy. Some groups are just more unhealthy than others. Some teams are cohesive and, they're not fully without problems, but there's a spectrum. Some groups, some teams are just way shittier attitudes, crappier parents. And then others are just more cohesive where people get it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's our responsibility as parents to put our kids in positions that are aligned with our values, and that we don't have to just leave our kids on a team with coaches that we don't respect how they do things, kids that we think have bad attitudes that likely come from parents. You don't have to turn tail and run from every hardship. Like, there is something to be said for, like, hey, what are the lessons to be learned from, like, being on a team with personalities that are difficult to navigate? That's fine. But also, like, I don't want that to be my kid's entire youth sports experience either.
100%.
So, to me, it's more like, I want my kid, generally speaking, I want the bases covered. Like, I want a healthy coach. I want the tone and tenor of the team to generally be positive. And then when there's friction points, like, okay, we can work through that. I don't want my kid on a team with some angry, fiery coach, or some coach that's like that majorly plays favorites or lets the kids get away with murder, or just generally isn't aligned with my values.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if a kid punches a teammate in practice or something and then they go start at shortstop or pitcher, like, fuck
Yeah.
that. Like, they're not learning anything, because if you really think that it's about development, then part of that's holding kids accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be more inclined to be like, I don't think my kid belongs on this team.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to find a different team. And I think that sort of thing happens all the time.
Yeah,
Teams
it does.
break away all the time and they say, hey, if you're sick of this crap and you really want it to be more like this, I'm starting a team. Come be with me if you want.
Yeah.
And dude, there's going to be, there always has been, and there always will be drama in youth sports.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a certain mentality to be able to deal with that. You have to have at least thick enough skin to deal with it. There's maybe you've heard this saying before. I don't know whose quote it is. It's not mine, but the saying is, if you want to avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just be nothing if you don't want to be criticized. But if you care to influence people in the best way that you can, then you're going to get criticized. People are going to talk, da. So you have to have thick enough skin. I've kind of always liked the idea of this is going to sound more patronizing or whatever than I mean for it to, but I kind of like the idea of treating parents like a kindergarten teacher
Mm-hmm.
treats their class. Of like, if a parent comes up and is whining and complaining, to be like, oh, okay, I hear you, and then do what you're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
mm-hmm.
why'd you bench my kid? And they da. Like, oh, I hear you. You're mad right now. Yeah, he's got some big feelings. Okay, and then you just bench their kid anyway. It's like, yeah, cool. Let them throw their little fit. and bench their kid, and then let them talk shit. And then if anybody's ever like, "Whoa, Dan, why'd you do that?" Like, "Oh, did they tell you their son punched a teammate in practice?" They tell you that part of the story.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, and let it speak for itself, and let them self-select out too. Like, hey, this is how we're running this team. If you don't like it, take your kid off the team. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your kid punched another kid on our team. They don't get to start the next game. Why? And why would they? That's ridiculous. And also, like, oh yeah, big deal. It's a game or a tournament. This one kid hasn't played this position all season. Like, we wanted to give him a turn at this too.
Yeah.
He's in fourth grade.
Yeah.
Who cares? This isn't varsity baseball where like the best of the best should have every position. Like, this is all learning. None of these
100%.
games truly matter for anything.
Yeah.
Except for what they learn from it. So like if you get a ribbon or a trophy or the rings that they have now or whatever, none of that shit means anything.
Nothing.
It's really fucking cool if like a kid gets to play a position they don't usually get to play, or if a kid's like having a bad game, but like the coach doesn't give up on him and builds him up, and the kid walked away from that game with a new sense of confidence. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It doesn't fucking matter to me if a fourth grader didn't get to play shortstop because he really wanted to.
Yeah.
And he usually does. And some other kid played shortstop and made an error and they lost the game. Like, I get why the fourth grader cares. That makes perfect sense to me because that's their world.
Yeah.
What I have less tolerance for is the parents being like, "What the hell? How come? Why is that position?" It's like, shut up. It's youth sports. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the worst kid on the team at all these different positions because he should get to.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't that kid get to see what it's like to pitch?
Yeah.
The worst kid on the team should get to see what it's like to pitch.
Yeah.
And if you don't think so, then eat shit.
This is where it gets weird, especially for youth sports. Is, let's say, for example, I'll just use our schools club. You sign up for the club, but the coaches get to make all the decisions, right? So if a coach doesn't want to participate in tournaments, you're just put on that club. Maybe you wanted to be on that. Well, you don't have a say. There's some teams that the coach says we're not going to go to state. Well, what if the parents and the kids signed up for this program thinking that was going to be? There's no standard, right? And also a lot of I think coaches get sucked into the winning part of it when they say, my number one goal is, I'm going to set expectations. Maybe they try to set expectations and then don't necessarily follow through with those. Like, for example, we have in the Prairie system, and I'm not saying that this happened on any of our teams this year, but it has in the past, where, we're going to let kids play a variety of different positions throughout the league games. And then, we don't care really if we win or lose those. But once we get to the tournaments, then it is best team on the field, right? And then some kid is not going to play the positions that they want to. And they put them in positions where they can be more successful. And then the expectation was said, but it still pisses people off because they didn't agree with the expectation in the first place. So, man, that was in football. That was in, why isn't my kid touching the ball? Well, when we hand the ball to your kid, he drops it every time, or he's offsides every time. So I have to put him in a position where he can be successful. Well, that's not fair. He deserves that. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't deserve it. Nobody deserves. You know what I like. What I hate in this world is when somebody said, "Oh, he deserves it." Bullshit. I do not teach my kids, "You deserve it." I teach them, "You earned it." Right? My daughter's a state champion because she went out and wrestled hard all off season, did weight programs, went to additional practice, went to additional camps. That's why she's a better wrestler than she is a year ago. Not because she deserved it, right? It's like, that's all bullshit to me. And I don't raise my kids that way.
Yeah. I think people with a people pleasing personality probably struggle to be coaches and especially head coaches.
Yeah.
If you're trying to please all the people all the time, it just turns into a mess really fast. It's a really good idea to set all of the expectations right up front so that people can decide if they're in or out. Hey, we're going to do 3 tournaments. We're not doing state.
Yep.
Do you want to sign up for the team?
Yep.
Sure. Okay. Well, then when state comes around and we're not doing it, don't complain to me.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that's, I wonder how this is going to go in the future. There's a lot of people who coach, most people who coach don't do any sort of like coaching education. I kind of wonder if I know that they exist, like coaching academies and things like that, where the average parent can go join this thing, do coaching workshops, coaching academies, whatever, where they learn about coaching and they learn about team management. They learn about parent management. They learn about managing expectations. They learn all of those things. But that's definitely not the norm, because there's a good chance that neither of us even knows anyone that's ever done that. So what we have is a bunch of people who got a job that they weren't even qualified for.
Right.
I mean, that's essentially what it is. When you volunteer to be a head coach, it's like, oh, I volunteer to be CEO of this corporation. It's like, well, you might not be good at that, but you volunteered. So, okay, you're just the CEO of our corporation now.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a bunch of people that are not qualified and they're out there like, they don't know how to deal with the parents. They don't know how to deal with the kids' attitudes. They might not know how to deal with like player development, but they just wanted to be the head coach. And so they are.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good formula, I don't think.
And one thing that I've noticed over the course of the years is adults not wanting to admit their own weaknesses, meaning, and this is no shout out to this is no shout out. In the past, I've been on teams or been part of, or my kids have been on teams where, you know, like nobody's volunteering to be the head coach. So this guy is the head coach. Okay. Or he decides he wants to be head coach, and that is awesome. Thank you for stepping up to the plate. And then X number of years go by, and then they've reached their limit on what they know about the sport. And technically, they should probably pass the reins over to someone who knows more, who can help the kids more. But most people don't. They hold onto the reins, and then the kids or the team suffers because they don't want to give up power anymore.
Yeah, that's absolutely a thing. Yeah. And I hope that it goes this way in the future, that like that guy or that woman, dude, what if he went to a coaching academy? What if every year he went to 1, 2, 3 coaching workshops and he coached himself up? What if he went and got more education? The reason why I'm on this is because, and maybe you are too, but there are like personalities that I follow on social media that are like really good coaches that talk about their coaching experience and talk about lessons they've learned the hard way and talk about like all their missteps and what they do well and what to do in these situations. Like, really cool coaches that I really respect. And what I've heard a lot of them talk about is when they've gone to this different coaching academy or this coaching workshop, like that really planted the seed in me, like, oh, it's not enough to just be like a dad that cares. Mm-hmm. Like, you can go, these places exist, these workshops exist. So that same guy that like reluctantly volunteered to coach and did a good job, and then, you know, maybe around 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade was like, oh, this is all like above my pay grade, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Dude, that guy could go learn more.
Yeah.
But so if he wants to hold on to power, then he should go learn more.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Wouldn't that be cool? Because I know that exists, but it's not normalized. So, you know, youth sports is already this enormous financial suck.
Yeah.
And those, the coaching academies and stuff, that would cost money, but man, I think our society could get a lot of bang for its buck out of our coaching leaders going and learning how to manage players, how to manage parents, how to manage personalities, how to manage problematic situations. Because another thing that's funny to me, and I guarantee you've seen this, is like the problems that you've seen on any given team are not novel to your team.
No.
Like that's been, whatever problems you saw has been occurring on every youth sports team since the dawn of youth sports. But every guy that's just like you or me that signs up to coach, it's our first time dealing with it. And so we're reinventing the wheel every season of like, oh my God, this parent's not happy with me. Dude, there's ways to deal with that are like well understood. But if I haven't educated myself, then I'm just like swimming in deep waters,
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So I think that's a thing I would like to normalize more, is parent coaches and volunteers going and getting more education.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I would love that. I'm with you. I've coached my kids for years and have stepped back because I'm like, oh, I think I'm out of my depth here.
Yeah.
But I think I have a good personality for coaching.
Yeah.
I put the kids first. I develop good relationships with them. If I want to keep coaching, I think I could go train myself up about coaching. I could become a better coach.
Yeah.
Just my heart's in the right place. That's not enough.
Yeah. 100%. I'm reaching that with my older boy. The fundamentals I can continue to teach with him. There's nuances to baseball that are complex, and you only really understand if you've started to play at that next level. Like, I'll be honest, man. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to teach my boy the techniques he needs on when there's different pitches that are in play. Like, okay, the count is, this, expect a fastball. The count is this, expect to sit back on a curve, right? Like, I don't have that knowledge. And so that's going to be somebody else's responsibility to teach him that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's crazy, I don't know. It's just, this all has stemmed from me, like, really what it's stemmed from is me not thinking that the kids are getting the foundational development they need to play the game. And I understand, like, and I think I'm too old school for this new era of things too, where, like, I've watched some documentaries about football teams and the way that some of these young kids talk to each other and their coaches, and it slides, and they're still the number one player on the team. They would be off the team with me. I can't accept that. I can't accept that. But if that's the new way, like, when cultures collide type of deal, I don't know how I can't be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
If it's accepted by certain parents and other coaches, that's accepted. And I'm in that same realm. Like, dude, I can't be a part of that. That's time for me to step out.
Yeah, that I hear you. Also, that goes back to not every team is like that.
Uh-huh.
And
I get it.
And it's okay to find another team that isn't.
Yeah.
That isn't like that. I've had it both ways. I've had coaches that I was like, oh my God, this is like actively bad for my son to be on this.
Yeah.
And then I've had, like, our most recent experience was just incredible. The guy was super focused on developing the players, and not that we played to win, but he cared about the players before he cared about winning. And it was like, in therapy, we actually call it a corrective experience, where maybe you've had a shit experience before, and so then that's your impression of the world, and then you have this new experience and you go, oh my God, this can be good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not all shit. Oh, it was actually the people that I was with in that previous experience that were shitty. That's not how everybody is. People can be good. This can be constructive and positive. That's called the corrective experience. My son had that this year, and that kind of
awesome.
breathed new life into his little sporting career.
Yeah, that's awesome. He likes going and doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. I love it.
But some, part of my point is, like, that exists. That still exists. I also think that if people like you bow out, you're just creating more space for crappy people
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So like if a person like you wasn't ready, like maybe you're ready to be done, maybe you're not. But if you're not ready to be done, maybe you do some studying about how to cultivate team dynamics and character and culture, how to deal with difficult players, how to deal with difficult parents. Like all of that knowledge has already been thought through. Those scenarios have already been thought through. But the average volunteer parent like you and me, we're just reinventing the wheel as if it's the first time it's ever happened. But it's not. So like we could learn about that.
Yeah.
I could even give you some resources of the people that I follow that talk about these things regularly, that when I've heard them talk about it, I go, oh, yeah. Okay, good. I've kind of had a sense of that, but I was kind of afraid to do it. Like, it's okay to just do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely will take those resources.
All right. Yeah, I'll send them to you.
I don't know. I also feel like I want to use my time as efficient as possible. And I think that my time, I don't know, is that greedy to want to only coach your kid, or like you kind of want to give up on everything and just focus on your own children?
What do you mean by give up on everything?
Well, give up on the team per se. Like because I'm currently a coach, I don't know if I want to do it anymore. I only want to train my kids potentially, I'm not saying that, but I want to, is that bad of me? At that point, am I giving up on the rest of the kids?
I don't know. I can't answer that for you.
Yeah.
I think that you have every right to do what's in the best interest of your own kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you, to me, you're even as long as when you were coaching, you did your best. It's like, hey, as long as I'm coaching you, I'll do my best.
Right.
But I don't think just because you have coached that you are now committed to coaching forever.
Yeah.
So like it's at some point, if you're like, hey, this is the direction that I have to go now, I actually think that's okay.
Yeah. I gotcha. Cool.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that the baseball season is kind of winding down, not because of any of what we've talked about, more about just like schedule starting to slow down a little bit. Our family needs a break, straight up. Yeah. Like we have been going full throttle for so long now, and it's not very long until it all kicks back up again with fall sports and fall activities. We got wrestling that's going to be coming up here again. I'm looking forward. Both my boys have said they don't want to play football this year. Now, my one wants to stay in wrestling, and the other one just wants to work on baseball for sports and go and hunt, which is a big thing for me, right? Like I'm looking forward to spending time with him, but just slowing down a little bit. That's all I want, is just for our family to slow down.
Yeah.
And because I think we're growing apart from each other because of how packed our schedules are. And I think we need to get back to each other a little bit more. If that makes sense.
I think that makes a ton of sense. We're in a similar situation that finally, so my son was in baseball and soccer at the same time, and my daughter was in softball. So just like you, every night of the week was something, some practice. So we're always running around somewhere. We're always scrambling to do the next thing. And finally, and it was all cool, but now that it's over, like finally life has slowed down. It's like, okay, now our summer can start. Now we can, it's really kind of similar to if you go on a family vacation, but your whole vacation is just go, 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 go. And then you come home exhausted. Like it was fun, but it wasn't a vacation. It wasn't relaxing.
Yeah.
So like now maybe you can actually relax.
Yeah. And that's what, state baseball is not relaxing, by the way.
No, it's not.
It
it's
is
cool
not
and it's
at
neat
all.
and stuff, but
yeah,
no one's
fun
ever
for the
called
kids. It's fun for the kids. So, well, that kind of used up all of our time today. I want to start getting into specific, let's see how I was listening to a couple podcasts. I had to go to Illinois this week. So on the way there and on the way back, I was listening to a couple podcasts about addiction and different, like everything from heroin to scrolling to pornography to obsessive compulsive disorders that a person gets themselves into because of, they're addicted to something. I want to talk, and I'm going to lean heavy on you for some of these conversations about what is like signs of an addict. How do I know, maybe am I addicted to mocha coffees or some shit like that? What are some addictive traits that we should look out for our loved ones or for ourselves or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. I can think of a few people off the top of my head. These would probably be good times to bring in guests. So yeah. I'll send out a few messages.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We good? Good. Okay. Well, I got my last state baseball this weekend. We're getting ready to leave here in a little bit. So I'm going to be hitting the road here probably in about an hour or two. And
wow, it's not done yet, dude. It's the freaking middle, almost the end of July, and you guys are still doing it.
Yeah, still playing baseball. And guess what? Next weekend, I think, next weekend we're doing something. The weekend after that, we're going to Branson, Missouri for a national wrestling competition. And then after that, we're going and doing something else. And then it's just school starts. Holy shit. Right. I'm seeing back to school commercials, dude.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I know for sure. All right. So then the one little challenge I'm going to give you is
challenge.
On these trips with this baseball, you said your family's drifting apart because of all the busyness. My challenge to you is to find a way to make it meaningful and fun and joining together.
Okay. Can't do that. I can't do that on this trip because 2 of my kids are going to Minnesota with grandma and grandpa. So it'll be me, my youngest, and my wife.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do
bond
something with them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yep.
Bond with him. Make this a fun family thing.
Yep. We'll do.
Choose that attitude. Alrighty, man. Thank you.
Last question I have for you is, can I borrow some money?
Yeah, right. If I had any, I would give it to you.
Right. I'm just fucking with you. So, all right. Hey, thank you all for listening. Do us a huge favor. Go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you download, your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. If you have any questions or topics that you think that we should cover, feel free to reach out through our Instagram page, Man Therapy Instagram page. Just look for the logo. Send a couple messages our way, and we would love to cover a topic that our listeners want us to. So, Kyle, have a good weekend, man.
You too.